Hey everybody, welcome to Poly Live Weekly News for the 3rd of August. This is not Poly Live Weekly News, it's Poly Weekly News. Pre-record because I'm away on holiday, enjoying myself, hopefully in the sunshine. But we still wanted to make sure we got the show out for you, and a show it is as usual. Joining me on the couch in the green room, we have Ala from Frost and Sullivan, and as usual, the amazing David Dante. Looking good, sir? All good? You're not eating now? No,
Not anymore.
we caught him earlier. But it's fine.
Thank you, guys.
So welcome to this Poly Live Weekly News. It's not live. We're going to be doing, a pre-record here. If this is your first time watching us, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can join us every week. This week, as I say, we're going to be joined by Ala from Frost and Sullivan, and we're going to be talking all things headsets. Frost and Sullivan have put out a recent report on headsets, and I wanted to get Ala in to kind of go through that. So let's get him on now. Ala, how are you doing?
Very good, sir. What about you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's pretty warm here in the UK at the moment. I wanted to just hook up just a couple of kind of words of introduction to yourself and Frost and Sullivan. I think everyone knows Frost and Sullivan, but can you kind of give us an introduction to yourself and Frost and Sullivan?
Sure, sir. My name is Ala Saeed, and I've been working for Frost for about 13 years now. Prior to Frost, I've been also in the telecommunication industry sector. I've been working in Telefónica of Argentina. I'm based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, by the way. And I've also worked in Verizon Business, Argentina. And so while I joined Frost and Sullivan back in 2007, I've started to be part of the enterprise communication and collaboration group led by Elka Popova. While I'm particularly based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, I do report to North America, and my coverage is all across the globe. So inside our team, we take a deep and detailed look at everything happening in the unified communication space, and we tackle each and every subject. On one hand, we tackle video conferencing, the video conferencing space. We tackle everything related to telephony, so the old on-premise world versus the UCaaS world, and I particularly handle everything that revolves around endpoints, both software communication and collaboration endpoints, as well as hardware communication endpoints. So in that sense, I've been authoring several global key studies, and one of them has been the flagship, our flagship global professional headset study that has been, that has been tagged by different vendors in the space, including yourself and other leading vendors. So I'm very pleased that we are a source of information for you guys and for others in the industry in terms of what is happening in for headsets, and also what is happening in other types of endpoints in the space.
Yeah, and that's I guess what we really wanted to kind of cover off. And it's interesting, you've been there for like 13 years at Frost, and I'm sure things have changed probably quite slowly and transitionally over those years, but then probably in the last 6 months, things have changed a whole heck of a lot, which we actually want to get into. And I guess that would be a kind of interesting point to get into. How has kind of lockdown affected you? I mean, how your working style? What have you taken from, were you in an office previously and now working from home? How's kind of lockdown working for you?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, Neil, I mean, I was not affected by it a lot, to tell you the truth, because I've been working from home since maybe 5 years now. And so I was already accustomed to how to, set up my home to the correct appliances, and when to exactly work, and when to find my working nirvana, appropriate working nirvana, and all that. So in that sense, it hasn't affected me in that big way, to tell the truth.
And I see you've got a great headset there, so clearly you're already prepared and ready to go. So.
Yeah, my friend. I mean, I have the latest Poly Blackwire 8225, which by the way, it's not because I'm talking to you guys, but it's a very good headset to use.
So you mentioned your recent annual report on the global professional headsets. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and the findings, and kind of what the process was that you went through to sort of go through that?
Definitely, Neil. First of all, how much time do we have? Because I can keep on going on for
You go
forever.
on, you go, play it through. I think there's some great content in there. So say, just love you to take through some of the stats in there and some of the details around that.
Well, that's great to hear. So first of all, just to give you a little bit of, to set up the ground for this, we always do this report on an annual basis. We try to touch base with all the major professional headset vendors, but not only all the major headset vendors, but also the regional headset vendors. So we speak with some regional vendors in North America, in EMEA, in Latin America as well, and as well in APAC, in Asia Pac, which you have a bunch of pro headset vendors out there, and we try to uh, take their analysis and what they think about what is happening in the market, how their market is, how their different professional headset segments are growing, and where do they see the growth opportunities. Of course, we compare this with all the internal data that we have, and we've been doing this for years. So touching now based on the key findings of this new upcoming study, what I can tell you is that pro headsets are sexier than ever, my friend. So it's an industry that earned 1.41 billion US dollars in 2019,
Wow.
and we are expecting it to earn almost 2.9 billion by 2026. So that's more than doubling its size. Um, so that's very, it's astronomical, to tell the truth. And what is causing that growth? I can mainly summarize it to three key areas here, Neil. The first one is the explosion of software and collab services. We are seeing software and collab services everywhere, and I'm going to highlight each and every topic individually. Second is innovation in headset features and capabilities, and I'm sure that both of you guys know, all what is happening in that sense. And third is the exponential growth of work from home individuals. So if you don't mind, guys, I can touch base on each one
Yeah, please do.
individually
Yeah, please
and
do.
give you some numeric highlights. So let me just put my glasses on just one second. So what I can tell you guys is, for first, let's touch base about software communication and collaboration services. So there has been a huge uptake of those. When we speak about software common collab, there are different types, but all of them are merging. You guys know that. First, let's speak about cloud, web, and video meetings. So these are, the Zooms of the worlds,
Yep.
the Microsoft Teams, the WebEx, all right? So all these guys, we are expecting a CAGR now, a compound annual growth rate for that market of around 25% within the next 5 years.
Wow.
So this is especially has been boosted by COVID-19 lockdowns. We've been seeing how all these guys have been reporting 3x, 4x growth in the months since the pandemic started. So that's pretty unbelievable. And so that's on one side. On the other side of the equation, we have what we call team collab services. So those are the Slacks of the world, let me say, the Workplace by Facebook, Symphonies, all these guys, as well as, of course, the other players that are also having right now team collab as part of their as one workload as part of their bundles. So those team collab services, we are estimating daily active users to reach 100 million by 2021. So huge number there as well, and a huge number of people doing persistent chat, a huge number of people doing PC one-to-one calling, and therefore there is a huge opportunity for headset vendors there.
Yep.
The third piece of the equation, and let's call it what we used to call UC client, or the old UC world, it's now shifting to this all-in-one dashboards. Let me tell you that the UCAS line licenses have been, or seats, let's call them seats, they have been growing very visibly, and as a result, there is a much larger percentage representation of UC dashboards to UCAS seats. So in other words, all this is making a perfect storm for headset vendors to actually increase their TAM and have a larger TAM in the space, right? So this is a little bit some of the highlights in terms of software communication and collaboration.
There's some amazing detail in there, and again, there's some interesting points. Obviously, customers that have had to evacuate the office and move to that cloud service because they can't support all those connections going in through a firewall or for a VPNs. So that growth in cloud clearly has been kind of driven from that. And I guess there probably has been a slow migration around the soft client from hard telephony. Some users wanting to move to headsets and soft clients. So really
Definitely.
interesting around that. I mean, it would be really interesting to see that hockey sticker, from sort of April and March, I guess, from when COVID kind of
Yeah,
struck.
yeah.
But clearly, there has been an ongoing trend towards this. Um, how have you seen, the impact of COVID at all to these stats in any specific way, or as say, is it that just that hockey stick of just people having to panic buy and go out and get stuff?
Well, I mean, there is definitely an impact of work from home. I'm gonna touch base on that just a moment. But what I was going to continue, Neil, to let you know is the second driver that we are seeing, and we can definitely
Mm,
go ahead after that with work from home,
great,
which is innovation, right?
right.
We spoke about innovation, and there is a tremendous take in innovation. I mean, we are seeing almost all headset categories, emerging with new features and capabilities, advanced active noise cancellation, improved form factors, and a growing array of inbuilt features and capabilities. So that is also boosting the market. And let me share with you one number here that I believe both of you guys are going to see as interesting. So one area that we have been seeing growing a lot is the called advanced, what we call advanced Bluetooth UCC headsets. All
Okay.
right. So those are specifically, we are talking here about cordless headsets that connect to both the PC and mobile via Bluetooth, but also has inbuilt features that attract the majority of task-based workers, such as noise control, the availability to improve concentration, and the availability for multi-connectivity. To throw you another number, that market in particular, it grew 43% in 2019 in terms of
Wow.
revenue. So huge there, huge there. So I just wanted to point that before going to the impact of COVID. Um, when it relates to impact of COVID and work from home, and the boost that drove to the market, yeah, definitely. I mean, we believe that, just to give you other stats here, before COVID, we believe that around 30 million people around the world, business users. Let me clarify that these are business users with a line, with the telephony line licenses. So those were estimated to be around 30 million, or that is around 5% of the global workforce. And we are excluding. Let me just point one important thing.
Mm,
We're excluding everything that revolves around Soho, which is 5 employees and below.
right.
So that before COVID, there were 30 million people working, I would say, regularly from home. That is around at least 2 to 3 days a week. And so after COVID, that number, let's say, intupled, if that word even exists, to
We'll
to
take
uh,
that. Yeah.
to 270 million workers globally,
Wow.
so working from home. And the truth of the matter is that after some level of COVID control, we are expecting this number to at least become 135 million. So 25% of the global workforce is going to work from home, and it's not going to return to work, or it's going to return to work to do
Yeah.
some specific tasks, such as social networking, or project related stuff, right?
Yeah, I
This
think
is
you
Yeah,
always
go
go
ahead.
some stuff like manufacturing, and where you have to be, and you've got tools, specific tools, whether they be technical tools or other tools that you need to go and get hands on from. Interestingly, Polly's done a recent study around hybrid working and that kind of new normal, and there is that, as you say, that kind of idea that in the future there's going to be more choice. There'll be the
Right.
opportunity for people to go, okay, well, I'm going to choose to work from home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll go in the office Thursday and Friday and do that catch up. Do the work at home, do the desk work, and then go and collaborate. With my teams. On specific days when we all go in, all scrum and huddle together. Probably not huddle so much at the moment, but all get together, socially distancing, and kind of do that through. So that hybrid working definitely seems to be again a trend for the
Definitely.
future. Yeah.
And there is one more observation that I would point. Let's not ignore as well everything that revolves around WAHA workers, or let's call them work from home contact center agents. All right. So that group, we estimate at Frost and Sullivan that group is composed of around 15 million contact center agents,
Wow.
and those prior to COVID actually less than 2% of those 50 million were working from home. After COVID, we've seen a huge uptake with around 50% of the total contact center agents working from home. That's around 9 million. And actually, when we spoke with leading outsourcing contact center vendors, they've actually indicated a higher rate, around 60 to 70% of their agents working from home. So, having said that, and also to give you a comparative stat with work from home, we are expecting after some level of COVID control that around 15%, so 15% of total contact center agents to work from home. So that is a huge potential
Staggering numbers.
for headset vendors to equip work from home and WAHA workers with the appropriate, tech gears, with the appropriate headsets, with the appropriate, cams and all, speakers and everything related to communication devices, at home.
Yeah, I'd say it's a staggering number. And it's interesting you say the contact center always used to be those kind of cram them in, big farms, sitting in those kind of cubes and stuff like that. And now, the opportunity to embrace the, flexible working and being able to work from home. That's say staggering numbers and a staggering
Exactly.
transition. So, you mentioned obviously, working from home and, can you give some guidance, from, your years of experience and from Frost about how customers can embrace this way of hybrid working or this new normal with regards to some of these technologies? Is there some findings and some stuff that you can give us around that?
Yeah, I believe. I mean, there is no secret formula, but I believe it's very important for someone to be able to have the correct tools, the effective tools that would allow someone to work from home. So when I speak about tools, it's not only the software common collab services available that would allow the user not only to go and have a video chat with someone, but also to be able to have a persistent chat with a group of people about a project or something. And so the appropriate software communication and collaboration services are key here. But also, what is key is the appropriate hardware gear, as we've pointed out. We've been speaking about headsets all around this conversation. And here, some of the takes that I would say is that um, the most important thing to someone working from home for maybe for the first time is to actually do their homework, um, especially in terms of hardware. Um, my suggestion is really not to rush and go and buy a cheap consumer headset. Um, there are key aspects here to take in account, that there is strong differentiators of pro headsets with consumer headsets. Let me point a few. First of all, we have connectivity. You have to do your homework in terms of connectivity. You want a headset that it offers corded or cordless connectivity. This is one, but then you also have to look at the devices that you are using. If you are using your PC and your mobile, so you need maybe a dual connectivity headset. If you're using your PC mobile and you also have a desktop phone, you might go ahead and go with a triple connectivity
Yep.
headset. So connectivity is key, And so there are so many choices that pro headset vendors are offering, and that they are beautiful and neat, that they can even connect conversations between channels, between a mobile call and a PSTN call. So it's crazy, and it's beautifully made. So connectivity is key. Another differentiator that I would say is comfort. So many consumer headsets, to tell the truth, are not comfortable enough. If you are going right now with this new normal, that you have many conversations, that you need something more comfortable, and you need to search for, you know, you will probably increase your wearing time. So in that sense, you ha- if pro headsets have a wide variety of options. You have on-ear supraural, you have circumaural headset, you have neckband, you have true wireless, you have in-ear, you have what have I mean
Whole plethora of
everything.
different wearing styles. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, for instance, circumaural could be good for a couple of years, but then it could be heavy to your head. So all this type of investigation has to be done in order to see, okay, if the headset is going to put enough pressure, like supraural versus circumaural, maybe you would need a neck band if you would go with for more than 4 or 5 hours. So you have to do all this investigation.
Mm,
Third topic, very important, noise cancellation. All right.
totally.
So, and you guys both know it. I mean, Neil and David. So, advanced pro headset models are really allowing today for high and very effective noise cancellation experience, not only for the user of the headset, but also for the person who's actually listening to you.
Yeah, that's a
So,
big thing. I think a lot when people talk about noise cancellation, are you talking about receive active noise cancellation, or are you talking about transmit noise cancellation? Because again, they'll people will put it in the data sheet, or have the marketing. Oh, we've got noise cancellation, but that's just by inputting white noise, pink noise, whatever it might be into the incoming that you're receiving. Because in many cases, certainly consumer cases, it's around listening to music and blocking out that kind of
definitely.
aircraft noise and that kind of humming on the train, but it's what this thing's getting, the mic elements in there and what you're always sending to the far end, because you never hear yourself back apart from a little bit of side tone. But if you're sending that noise, the fan noise of your computer, the dogs barking, the road noise, the guy with the leaf blower, it's completely disruptive for the call.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. And that's why one has to really take a look at, okay, let me do my homework in terms of ANC. What is ANC available there? Feed forward ANC. You have feedback ANC. You have hybrid ANC, which is beautiful because you have microphones outside and inside of your ear cups. And so you have to definitely do your homework in terms of noise canceling. And this could be beautiful, especially when you just said it. I mean, you have kids, you have dogs, you have everything, and so this allows you to really cancel the noise for both. I mean, for both speakers, right?
Yeah,
So that's
totally.
that's beautiful. And last but not least, I didn't touch upon this, and but this is very important. It's to take a look at everything revolving around UC headsets. So what I mean by this is you have to take a look at, okay, my business, what is the call control platform that they have, what is the UC client supported there, or what is the software communication and collaboration services supported there. So in that sense, it's very important sometimes to get UC certified headsets that would allow the user to enjoy a much higher quality online experience than a non-UC certified headset. So that is again both from the receiver side and from the transmit side. In that sense, consumer headsets they don't have that, and so in that sense, this would allow you not only for higher quality of voice, but also for more features and capabilities such as inline bottom controls, acoustic user protection, the usage of dedicated features and capabilities. Let's give an example. So for instance, in Microsoft cases, you have dedicated Microsoft bottoms, and the possibility of even for your IT department to have advanced analytics and management. With the usage of complementary software for management and analytics.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that is key.
I think it's a great point you make. I mean, Microsoft actually have their own standard. They have the Open Office standard as part of Teams,
Exactly.
and again, certainly the 8225 that you're wearing, and the 4200 Voyager, meet and actually exceed that certification. And again, in addition to not just meeting that kind of background noise suppression and ANC that's required of the Open Office standard from Microsoft, it is that cool control buttons, the ability to mute, unmute, which will then update the client itself. So
Exactly.
again, some really great points there. I'm going to grab Mr. Danto out. Let's see if we can find him and bring him to the fore,
Sure.
and grab some questions from David here. David, how you doing? I was going to say you answering the questions in the chat, but obviously they're coming in the future because this is a pre-record. But David, I know you've got some great insight around this. So some questions from you and some input from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually have been in a chat. Unfortunately, it's a chat, about other things going on. But I was paying attention. I actually wanted to ask you to elaborate on the point of headset use and personal preference. I work with Poly's advisory council. Our end user customers, and one of the things that almost comes to fistfights is when we bring up the topic of a favorite headset, because people will swear by their choice. They'll say, "Ooh, look, here's our new, our lightweight, fits over one ear, you can wear it all day, no problems, and that's the best headset." And somebody else is going to say, no, that's terrible. You can't do that. I want one that has noise canceling. I want one I can listen to my music all day.
How many's he got there? How many's he going to pull out? Come on, Dave.
Wait, I got them hanging over my head. Here's the 42, and I got them all over the place. But the idea is, it's essential, I think, if you're going to seriously up your game in this new hybrid working model, where you're going to be working remotely tons of the time, and you're going to be in the office a lot of the time, that you don't just use your consumer earbud headsets or
Definitely.
or a wireless headset from a manufacturer that's decided they want to be in the headset game, so they're making one. Um, the personal preference is one of the things that I think is the most important piece, because whether you want a neck band or an earbud or an over the ear or a big heavy over the ear or a light band, these are things that are going to make your job wonderful or miserable. And has your
Definitely.
research proved that out as well, in terms of what I get casually from all the users that I speak to?
Yes, definitely, David. So actually, our research and across the years, we've seen that there are different personas, let's call them. For each persona, you have different types of choices and alternatives, and so it's fundamental, for the user himself or herself to have a beautiful experience in terms of headset usage. I mean, come on, you are talking with all these different executives, with maybe with your boss, with your colleagues, and maybe you want to close a deal, where you want to do, you're doing very important calls. So here, an investment in a high quality headset is key, and there is no one single headset that can fit all,
Yeah, there's
right?
no one size fits all.
Exactly. I mean, there are so many preferences. You have the aesthetics, you have the ergonomics, you have the features, the capabilities. And so what fits me, it will probably not fit you or fit Neil. So in that sense, it's key for a business, for instance, going to a work from home mandate, and a work from home plan, to actually take a deep look at their users, what type of users. Actually, they can actually run a survey between their users and see, well, depending on their job role, depending on their functions, and depending actually on different aspects, their age, their all this is are factors to take into account when, okay, choosing a headset. And we haven't even spoken about frontline workers yet. Frontline workers need a totally different gamut of headsets there. So at the end of the day, Yes, I totally agree with you, David. And our analysis is always proving us that very it's very persona driven, and it's task based driven. So you have call centric guys that would need maybe a lighter headset top, and more durability. At the end, on the other hand, you have task-based, what we call task-based workers, or let's say the ones that go with using UC and having different tasks to accomplish them. And so for those guys, they need other types of UC headsets. And then you have the whole contact center call centric arena. So these are only three types of personas, but then each persona, they have sub personas. And I believe Poly has done, I believe across the years, a very good job into sub segmenting the types of personas. And also these personas are evolving every year. So the needs and wants of each one of these personas is changing. And so it's key to have a good understanding of what's happening. It's key to factor, again, age, work, the type of work that the user is doing, region as well, because there are some regions of the world that they don't support connectivity, DECT connectivity, for instance, right? So Bluetooth is more appropriate. So all these variables have to be taken into account in order to provide the user the best experience possible. This is aside from the user himself or herself to be able to tailor his own headset by color, using the color, by using the customized audio setting, by using a customized noise canceling setup, depending on his ear and on everything. So definitely important.
It's interesting that we don't see or haven't seen, or maybe you haven't publicized with enough noise on the internet, best practices around this. I remember a few years ago, way before I joined Poly, when I was just a simple consultant, I was sent a headphone from a very reputable industry manufacturer that was making their first headphone. And I was hearing from the IT managers that we're going to use these headphones because we can easily manage them as easily as we manage the phones that they're connected to. And I put the
Definitely.
thing on, and all it sounded like was it was on my beard the whole day, and no one has really put out a document that says you can't pick a headset for your firm. Your users have to select the headset that's appropriate for them amongst a menu of choices, and best practices is providing that menu of choices for the
Yeah,
various personas that you have in your organization. And I haven't seen that anywhere, and I think that that's a very important point, especially now that people are clamoring to get them. There's such a demand for high quality headsets that we need to make that point to make it clear to end user organizations that, you know what, you can't pick a headset. You have to pick
definitely.
a menu and let the users pick the headset.
David amigo, you're totally hit the spot there. I mean, it's totally necessary to do a buyer's guide. We actually did a couple of them, but now there's like an urge, a need for people to really understand how they can best, what are the different case, what are the different specs and everything. So I'm totally 100% with you. I will take your note on this, and we will probably do a buyer's guide, specific buyer's guide for different cases, and showing off the differences between consumer and pro. That's definitely necessary in the market.
Awesome.
Terrific.
Awesome.
That's great.
Uh, David, Ala, thank you ever so much for joining. I think this will go on, but I want people to go and look at the report, go to Frost's site, go and read more information. We're giving away free details here, so let's get people to go and head to Frost, and it's frost.com, isn't it, where they can go and check this out.
Frost.com, yes, and we will soon be publishing an article detailing some of the stuff that we've talked about. And yes, guys, I mean, the market is really expecting to boom. I mean, of course, COVID-19 and everything that happened with work from home, had some challenges for headset vendors during this year because of everything revolving around supply chain and all that. But all the headset vendors are quickly doing their job, and they're doing their homework around the clock. And it's incredible how to see all these guys, including yourself, reconfiguring your manufacturing sites, implementing specific safety protocols, and adhering to WHO and CDC health regulations, and as well strengthen your relationship with key partners as well as with key suppliers to increase your capacity. So all in all, we are very bullish about the market. We believe that 2020 is going to be a very good year for headsets. We are actually projecting a growth rate of 19.2% in 2020. So yeah, I mean, and it's key for businesses to really take a look, because I mean, my personal take and is that really headsets are becoming, or has become, the next gen endpoint, right? The correct endpoint in the space. So yes, there will always be IP desktop phones. Yes, there will be DECT phones. There will be other types of devices out there, but to have an appropriate pro headset with all the noise canceling technology and all the gears is the right investment to do.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Where can people hook up with you on social? Are you a Twitterite or a LinkedInite, or where's the best
Yeah,
place to go and find you?
my Twitter ID is at Allah Saeed. So it's just my name and
I'll
surname.
drop it in the description so people can hook you up on there.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Thank you ever so much for joining us this afternoon, and thank you all for watching and joining us on this week's Poly Weekly Not Live news. Some amazing insights there from Ala and Frost, and again, he was using the 8225. I think it's come out on top with regards to its capabilities with regards to noise cancellation, as well as a lot of the Poly portfolio. So do go over to frost.com and have a look at that, and hook up Ala on social as well, and check some of his reports. Again, thank you to Mr. Danto. Got another pre-record for you next week because I'm still away, and we'll let you know more about that in the social feeds. And then I will be back, and we'll be back to live. And Mr. Danto is trying to organise something a little bit special for when I get back, but more on that coming up. So do make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification. Have a great week, and I'll see you very, very soon.